The Headless Horseman is a 1922 silent film. This is actually the third film made for Washington Irving's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. The other two I tried to find information on. There's nothing. I mean, not even a year. So major sad face on that. So this is the only one that has survived, the only silent version that has survived. The other two, we just know that they were made. Now, this particular film stars Will Rogers. Here's the funny thing about having Will Rogers. We know that Will Rogers was in a bunch of cowboy films, and he was known for his skills as a horseback rider and all of that. But a lot of people are confused as to why he was chosen as Ichabod Crane, because in the story, Ichabod Crane was not very good on a horse. So it is kind of weird that they would choose. Nothing against Will Rogers, because actually he was very good for the part. But that was just the only flaw. Because Ichabod, the character, was not very good as a horse back rider, and Will Rogers, it comes out in several different parts in the movie that he is yeah, his skills with a horse come out quite a bit. There's also Lois Meredith. She is in the film. This is her last major on-screen appearance. And this film is the first pan-chromatic black and white feature film. And I read up on what that particular process is. I will be putting a link in the description below, because I would not be able to actually explain what that is. I'm still a little confuzzled on that. But if I can't understand it, there's no way that I'd be able to explain it. Now, this was a film directed by Edward D. Venturini. I hope I'm saying that correctly. It was produced and written by Carl Clancy. And I'm sure that we all know the story of Legend of Sleepy Hollow. This is the thing, is when I was reading up on a lot of comments and reviews and everything, a lot of people stated that this film, this 1922 Headless Horseman film, was the most accurate to Washington Irving's story. So you think about it, there's like the 1980 film, there's of course Johnny Depp's film, and the Disney cartoon, and there's like TV films and all of that. So with all of these different films, this one is the most accurate to his story. And so, which is, I don't know, I guess I'm not really surprised. I don't know. Because there's always at least two different, I don't know, there's always at least two that are sort of accurate, that are, I hope I'm making sense. Now, this was shot on location in the Hudson area, I believe is Hudson River Valley, and which is the setting for Washington Irving's story, which gives it more of that feel. So those who said, that reviewed and everything, that said that it had, that was more accurate, well, there you go, it's even more accurate. And so it had the Dutch farmhouses and the covered bridges and that sort of thing. And so when I was watching this film, one thing that I felt, for the most part, I really like the film. There's like a special effects for the Headless Horseman. There's like the double exposure effect. We've seen that with a lot of these films. But one thing that I just had a problem with is we know that Ichabod becomes a teacher in several different areas of the town. He's not just a school teacher for the kids. He is also a teacher, like a singing teacher. And that part seemed to just drag. I mean, we can't hear them sing. And so and there was just that moment where he's teaching this one fella to sing, and it just took forever. It just seemed like to me. So there there was that moment, and I felt like it just took way too long. And because for a silent film, we can't hear it. So I get that they were trying to point out that he was teaching music, but at the same time they could have done it differently, I think. But anyway, that was pretty much my only gripe. They showed there's one scene I have never related to a scene so strongly. There was a point where, of course, Brom Bones and his gang are causing a ruckus in town, and with Ichabod, he's believing about ghosts and goblins and all of this, and you hear Brom Bones, and they're traveling all through town, causing a ruckus, and of course there's this older couple, and the wife is saying, "Oh, you gotta check, it could be something, and it could be spooks," and, and the husband says, "Oh, it's just Brom Bones and his gang. Go back to sleep." Well, then it goes over to to Ichabod, and Ichabod jumps in bed, pulls the covers over his head. I've never related so much because I've done that before, like a little kid, where it's like nobody's gonna get me. But anyway, so this movie was made in 1922. It's the only one that has survived in the silent film era for this particular story. There were two others. There's not even a year for the other two. I tried looking it up. And again, Will Rogers plays Ichabod Crane. This was Lois Meredith's last major on-screen appearance. And it is the Headless Horseman.